we dig right up behind, which has something to do with our house. Yeah. But as far as down at that end, I think they were digging, looking for a foundation of another house down there.
Right, because there were other houses.
Yes, there were other houses way back. Yeah.
Has anyone dug at all or has talked about digging around the mill ruins now where we do the ruins tour?
We talked about it, and we're in the process of involving professionals to guide us in that project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like the University of Pennsylvania and so forth. But
we're approaching archaeology departments to see if someone would take an interest in that.
That's what I thought
so that we do it.
So that we don't do it wrong.
You need some PhD to come take it on as their project.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and you don't want to dig up everything and then have someone come in and say, "Oh, you've disturbed the layers. Here's the way we do it, a layer at a time." And but we do want to better maintain pathways through there and have interpretive signs out there.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come out there and look, when you go out there and look, you're just looking at a pile of rocks with weeds growing in it. It's tough to use your imagination and say, what was that?
You need to know a little bit, yeah.
It was this building. And so we want to get a better, I found this, back in the day, these mills were burning down all the time, and insurance came into play. And so the insurance companies, after the Civil War, sent inspectors out and artists, and they drew pictures of the place and drew schematics of what was there for insurance records. And so if they burned down, they'd know exactly what it was and how to value it. And those records, disappear into history, but they turned up online at the Philadelphia Free Library. So all the mills in Delaware County that were in existence in the 1880s, there are these plans. So we're going to get a really nice, high-quality version of that to be able to. So then when you're down there looking at these rocks, like one of them has this big circular thing. You can see the big circular thing down there, but everyone says, what is that for? So we're going to try to figure out what that was for and have signs down there and words that explain what you're seeing. And then someday try to expose it more, just so you can better see it. Because when everything grows up, then you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
It's best to see it.
And we don't want to take it in the wrong manner and destroy what is there and can be found.
Right.
I know when Jack Lear gives this tour of the mill ruins, he said the big circular thing was for waste, like the byproduct of the paper making. Somehow,
the big pond, you mean? Right.
Settling pond? And you can tell that that it was put there. I mean, there's stones.
Oh, yeah.
But my other question is, I know that with one of the Carol Schaefer paintings, and we tell people there was another tenant house further down, which was much bigger than this one. Mm-hmm. And when I've driven down Paper Mill Road, I feel like I see this long stone, low stone, maybe about this high, and then it looks like there's an indentation next to it, kind of like where the mill is. There's an indentation. Do you guys know anything about that? Is that what the other tenant house was?
Yes, I believe it is. I only have heard. Yeah, I've only heard about what the other houses were like.
Right.
We had an architect involved here, and I think he came up with some information about that, but I wasn't involved at that time, so I don't have the details. Yes.
How long did it take when you came in here to restore the entire house to what it is now?
Well, it took us a good 10 years to bring it up to close to what it is now.
So 1986.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, it was all done with volunteers and volunteer labor.
Yeah,
like
it
what
was,
you do is done with volunteers and volunteer labor and donating money and going and having. There's a whole series of. This is another one of the things I'd like to do. Maybe some of you, the older ones, can take an interest in maybe doing a slideshow because we have a ton of photos of this time, so it'd be sort of fun to put together something that shows. Yeah. So it's available. We have tons of pictures, but that would show because as you go room by room, it would be fun to say where is this, and then look at it today and say, oh, it had no floor then, now it does. Now I'm